Hey, Ash.
Yes, Taryn.
Would you like to sleep better?
I would love to sleep better.
Would you like to not have headaches?
Yeah.
Would you like to not suffer from anxiety?
Yeah.
And depression?
Yeah.
And low energy?
Yeah.
Well, have I got something for you?
What salesmanship? My goodness.
All of these horrible things I just described are symptoms of the blue light damage that we get every day from phones, TVs, computers, everything like that. But we have a freaking solution that both of us like legit stand by.
Yeah, I literally, it's the only thing I've been wearing regularly every single day. Yeah, I don't do hair. I don't do makeup. I wear my glasses.
But I wear my blue light glasses. And that is Blue Blocks. And we're so pumped to be partnering with them today.
Guys, unlike any other types of blue light glasses, Blue Blocks are evidence and backed and made under optics laboratory conditions in Australia. They have over 40 hip frames and come in prescription, non-prescription, as well as readers. So they have frames for all of y'all, okay? All of you. Blue Blocks is also giving back by working in partnership with Restoring Vision in their Buy One Gift One campaign, which is just absolutely fantastic. We love it. For each pair of Blue Blocks glasses purchased, they donate a pair of reading glasses to someone in need.
I freaking love that.
It makes my heart so happy.
You can get them with prescription or non-prescription or even readers, and they have the cutest frames. Me and Ash have been rocking the Maverick frame, so
big fans.
Feel free to twin with us. So get your energy back, sleep better, block out the unhealthy effects of blue light with Blue Blocks. You can get free shipping worldwide and 15% off by going to blueblocks.com. That's BLUBLOX.com/advice or enter code ADVICE at checkout.
Again, guys, that's blueblocks.com/advice for 15% off or just use the code ADVICE. Hey guys. I was just sitting here. I was just thinking how I feel like we've progressively like, I'm glad we're not shooting video. Taryn and I have progressively like gotten worse and worse with our appearance when it comes to recording. The two of us straight up just rolled out of bed and we are still in our pajamas. Not like just woke up and started recording. We definitely have put some thought into this podcast, just to reassure you. But like in this moment, I like
excuse me.
I went to press record and I realized like we are still in our pajamas and we don't care because quarantine, because it's Sunday today.
Yep.
And it's just the weekend.
It's
and
the Lord's Day.
We're not doing it today.
No.
Our roommates woke up and were like, what are you guys' plans today? And we were like, we're gonna record, maybe clean,
maybe do a Lego set.
Yeah. I might do my nails. And that's
about it
today. But yeah,
I could choose to be highly offended by your statements, but I also know exactly what I look like.
No,
so.
It's funny because I feel like at the beginning of all of this, I was like, I might wear comfy clothes, but I'm still going to get ready. I'm still going to do all this. And I do, guys. But then I have a random day like this where I'm just like, I haven't even brushed my hair.
I haven't brushed my teeth.
I'm still in my pajamas.
Yeah.
Sipping my coffee.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I couldn't be happier.
You know what, Ash? Someday, two lucky men are going to wake up to these faces.
These faces.
These hot, unfiltered,
still got lines from the pillow on your cheek.
So hot.
Imprinted on your face.
I'm so hot.
I don't know what it is about when we record, but something about being in the small room because again, if you guys are just jumping in, during this whole quarantine season, we have ended up recording our podcast in my sister's closet.
Yep.
It's the roomiest of all the closets in our place. And we have to like put blankets down and pillows everywhere to kind of like keep it from echoing. And I think the dogs think of it as like snuggle nap time. Oh, because every time we come in here, all three dogs follow us and take a nap. Like all three of them are laying down right now, eyes closed, just de-gaff, just so comfy and happy.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm sure it's like soothing because it's just like us talking, the room's like
butter voices,
dimly lit, and they get to just like snuggle with us and we're not moving at all. You know?
I think they love it. I think they're thriving. It's so funny. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh no. Now my mom's calling me.
You have to answer because I answered.
She
would know.
Mom, I'm recording a podcast. Can I call you
She
back?
said, sorry.
Okay, bye.
My mom goes, so she obviously called last week.
Right.
And then a few days later, I text her saying like, oh my gosh, wait, like, I don't know what's going on. I asked her a question about something. She was like, Taryn, that's why I kept calling you. And I was like, you didn't call me. She's like, it's literally on your podcast. And I couldn't argue with it at all. I was like, yep, you're right.
Oh my God, that's so funny. How have you been, Taryn? Also, we just hit 50 days of self-quarantine.
Remember how we said we were going to do something? I don't want
to.
For
50? I don't want to. I'm too tired. This is 50 days of quarantine. We were like, oh, we should celebrate 50. Yeah. We should go on like a long drive, or like we should bake something. We had all these great plans and intentions, and 50 came and we're just like, nah. Yeah. It feels like too much work.
Well, we freaking got out of the house yesterday.
We did, guys.
It was so cool. So, I'm sure many of you, if you follow us on our personal accounts, which you should,
hello,
because we're cool.
Durr.
My sister-in-law and brother are pregnant, expecting the first grandbaby in our family.
Very pregnant,
our immediate family. Yeah, she's like ready to pop. And we were texting the other day, and she was like, I'm so heartbroken because I didn't do maternity photos.
Yeah.
And like my heart literally sank because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just can't believe all the people who are not going to prom, not graduating, not doing like all these things that I think we take so much stuff for granted in life.
Huge milestones.
Like I never had to wonder like, am I going to get to go to a dance, or like, am I going to get to walk down like in a ceremony and graduate? Like that was like, oh, it's just an expected thing. So anyways, so she told me that, and I was like, this is no like you're weeks from giving birth, like we're gonna make this happen. So I talked to Ash and I'm like, okay, how can we do this but like being safe, obviously? So we ended up telling her like, okay, we're gonna do a photo shoot. We found this like super remote, basically like hills of flowers and like cactus and like cute stuff. And then we drove out there and Ash took some beautiful pictures.
It was so pretty. It was really hot, but it was the most refreshing thing. It was great because like obviously Taryn has visited her family during this time. That's like the only place she's gone to during quarantine. So we were like, you know what? If they have it, I would have it by now because you go back and forth. So I was like, I feel safe with them. We'll wear our masks, of course, and you know, we'll take all the precautions necessary. But yeah, it felt so good to see people.
I know.
To see other people. Like, I mean, I love you, but I was like,
girl, I'm not
someone
offended.
other than my roommates. Like, just made me so happy. And like, you know, having conversations with other people was just like life-giving, and I had no idea how much I needed it. I was like, we left yesterday and I was like, I feel great. No, it is so good.
It is so refreshing. It was funny, I was telling Ashley, I'm like, it's like I trust my family, right? Like I know that they're not going anywhere. Like my dad is still having to take care of my grandma who's elderly, and so
and then Vanessa's so pregnant.
And Vanessa's pregnant, so my family is on Uber like lockdown, like protect the fam mode. So that's the only reason like I even trust going over there, because I'm taking this seriously too. Like I don't want to get sick and then get you guys sick. So it's like, it's funny, but I was telling Ash, I'm like, if I had a family that was just like going to the beach and like doing all this stuff like all these other people, I'd be like, I'll see you in a couple months. Like you guys, I love you from far away. But anyway, so like we went out yesterday and it was so refreshing. But one of the things I didn't realize, because me and Ash, one of the things we bonded over is our horrible allergies.
It's so bad, guys.
And I didn't think about the fact that like I've been inside, like not exposed to nature for 50 days now.
Which is a person with allergies' dream, is to like live in air conditioned.
So I'm dealing with like pet allergies because of like our new dog in the house, Rosie.
Ro.
Just the cutest.
He's knocked out right now.
But my main allergy is usually from like outside. So we like 5 steps into like walking in this hill, I was like, oh my God, my throat, my nose, like instantly felt it. And I think my body was just so used to not having to deal with it that it hit me so hard.
Also, like just to clarify, if you live in Southern California, these aren't like pretty flowers. Like they're pretty, but
Yeah,
they're
like
actually weeds.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Taryn. I'm assuming she's the same. Like I'm way more allergic to weed and specifically ragweed out here than like actual plants.
Yeah.
Even though I'm allergic to those too. So not only were we walking by them, we were in them.
Yeah.
Like,
especially
because you can picture like we're in a field of flowers, of course, the like mom to bees standing in the middle of the flowers. So that means like me and Taryn are also standing in the middle of the flowers. And it was also really hot.
There was bees.
There were bees everywhere. And we had so much fun. But like at the same time, I was like, oh shoot. Like,
I'm going to die. Yeah.
I'm going to start sneezing. And I like last night I had to grab, this is a real note. We don't have Kleenex in the house and I'm not going to go out and get some.
Yeah.
So I've just been using toilet paper and I had to bring the roll of toilet paper to bed with me because I kept having to blow my nose and sneeze because I had so much pollen in my system.
And dirt.
I need to like
everything.
take like a hot shower and just like steam it out. But
Okay, but like real thought that when you first started like coughing and being like my throat feels itchy,
immediately
like,
I was like,
have corona.
Oh my God.
I always have to remind myself because like I'll go to say for instance if I like go to get coffee and come back and then I'll cough and I'm like, oh my God, I caught corona. And I'm like, Taryn, it doesn't work that way. Like you don't just like catch it and immediately you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
man, that's hilarious.
I calmed myself down. But anyways, hi guys.
Hello.
I feel like we've just been talking to each other.
Well,
I mean, that's what we do, but like
essential core of our podcast.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like we're getting close to like our supposed release date, which I don't think is going to be our release date from this whole craziness. And honestly, there's like some parts of me that are going to miss like just being home and like being able to focus on like certain things that I didn't necessarily get to focus on when I had like a life outside of my house. But yeah, it's going to be interesting over this next month. And I think like we all just need to continue to be safe and careful. Even like today I was driving and there's a farmer's market and today was the first day it was like popping. And I was like, okay guys, I know we're getting excited because things are getting better, but I think we all need to like still be
focused.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Taryn and I had this conversation in the car yesterday about like, with everything coming supposedly to a close on May 15th, at least for out here in LA, we were talking about how is this exciting for us or is this kind of scary for us? And for me, I sat there and kind of thought about it and I was like, I think I'm kind of scared for all of this to be over. One, kind of sad because I do feel so blessed. I've had the best situation like with my roommates and all being able to like we already work together, so honestly it's just felt like so great being close with you guys. But I am kind of scared to like for everything to go back to normal and me still be a little scared to shake someone's hand or hug someone or just go out to dinner. Like I'm gonna look at the plates like, should I even eat off of this?
It is gonna be interesting.
There's gonna be a period of time of a transition period where it's like I'm still scared. I don't want to do something like this. Which I think
is good. Like I think it's okay to, you know, I was like we were talking about, I'm like, I feel like all the way through summer I'm just gonna be like extra cautious. And I think that's okay. And honestly, I hope this does make people more aware of like, you know, when you're sick, you shouldn't just go out and be like coughing all over the place. Like you should be trying to think about other people and protecting them from whatever you have, even if it is something as simple as a cold. Like hopefully this makes people like a little bit more aware. I would guess,
exactly. I remember we had when right out of high school, one of my friends who's Japanese stayed with us, and she, whenever she was sick, would have a face mask on. And I remember just me being naive and uncultured in any way at that age, being like, that's weird. Like, why are you wearing a mask? You don't have to do that. And she was like, no, I'm doing it for everyone else.
Yeah, no, that's
I know I'm sick. So I'm being like, it's polite to do that. And I remember thinking that was the coolest thing I've ever heard. And then even I've been to Tokyo a couple times now. And it was just really interesting seeing how many people like thought in regards to who they could affect instead of just themselves. And it's such a revolutionary mindset that we just now are tapping into.
No, there's so many times people have like hugged me and been talking to me, and then they're like, yeah, I've been so sick this whole week. And I'm like,
are you kidding me?
Touched me.
Yeah. It's so selfish. And I'm actually excited for our country as a whole to just kind of be thinking differently.
Yeah,
now.
I hope so. I really do. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Just from now on, forevermore.
Wear masks.
Well, I'm super excited. I have a tearing it up.
Yeah, you do.
For us. This one I thought was really funny, but I did think of you because it involves a girl and her brothers. But it's pretty funny.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for it too. Okay, so for our tearing it up today, it is titled Sleepwalking.
Oh.
And this is by Maggie. She starts, "Hi, Ashley and Taryn. My name is Maggie, and I just wanted to say that this tearing it up will either make you guys embarrassed for me or laugh super, super hard."
Oh, gosh.
Oh, also, I love you both so much, by the way, and I love the sound effects, Taryn.
Thank you. Oh, dang it. Shoot, I really thought that was a clap.
I knew she was going to immediately start
Is it going to keep going?
pressing something.
She just pushed my hand away, everybody.
I want to keep reading. So it all started.
Move your leg. I'm not going to touch it.
It all started with, stop hitting my leg.
Nancy.
Okay. So it all started with me asleep, and usually I sleep in just a sweatshirt and my underwear. But for some odd reason, while sleeping, I took off my sweatshirt. The next morning, I wake up without my shirt on and a pillow from the couch downstairs in my bed with me. I thought nothing of it. So I go about my day, and then later the next night say to my brothers, who I know stay up late playing FIFA, a soccer game on the PS4 for context. FIFA? Mm-hmm. FIFA. Do you know how this pillow got in my bed? My oldest brother, who is 18, says, yeah, you walked down with no shirt and just your underwear on and grabbed it last night. Then my other brother, who is 17, chimes in with, yeah, we had no idea what you were doing, but we could tell you were fast asleep. I literally looked at them with disbelief. This means I walked down the hall from my bedroom, down our stairs, and walked 10 more feet to grab a random pillow to simply walk back upstairs to my room and back to bed without even using the pillow, without a shirt on.
That is my actual worst nightmare.
And that's what made me think of you. I was like, to have, like, it's one thing with sisters, like same gender siblings, but it's a completely different situation.
And we've talked about this before because you and Alicia are super comfortable with like changing in front of each other and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah.
And I've noticed that like I'm not as comfortable, and I think it's because growing up, like different. It was my nightmare. And I actually sleep in just my underwear too because I get super claustrophobic. But I remember like I was always paranoid about like someone walking in or anything like that. Oh my God, that's my actual nightmare.
Yeah, it's really interesting, like realizing that you were taught that by how you were raised, like with the people in your house. It's really cool to like think about. She continues, I'm writing this the night after this tragic shirtless nightmare and just found out about this only hours ago. As a reminder, I love your show so much, and thank you so much for hopefully reading this on the podcast. Love you both the most, Maggie. P.S. If you read this, please note that I am an only girl with 3 brothers, and I am only 14. That's the worst age. Oh my gosh, I feel you. That's the worst age. LOL. Thanks for allowing me to give you both and all the listeners a laugh at my awkward moment.
That's rough.
It sucks because like that's the worst age. You're like mid puberty, like growing and figuring everything out, and then to have 3 other brothers in the house. Dear God. And that's just, oh my God.
No, that's like
poor Maggie.
You know who sleptwalk a lot is Brett.
Really?
Yeah. He's gonna kill me. There was one night, I don't know why I was sleeping in his room. He had bunk beds. And for some reason, I was sleeping in there.
In each other's room all the time.
I think it was, we had like people over. So my mom gave them like my room and I slept on the bunk bed. Mm-hmm. But in the middle of the night, he gets up and he goes to his closet and he's just staring in his closet. And I was like, Brett, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm looking for the earmuffs. And I was like, why? He's like, the baby won't stop crying. And I was like, it literally was like silent in the house. So I was like, what is happening? But we were like younger, so I was freaked out. And then he just walks out. So I like followed him because I was like, okay, something's weird. So then he goes in the bathroom and did you ever those like carpet toilet covers?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I never had them, but I think all my friends' families had them.
Like on the top of the toilet seat. So he goes in the bathroom and he starts peeing on it. And I was like, Brett, like screaming. I was like, you're peeing on it. He goes, I know, Taryn. And we were like screaming at each other. And so then, he finally just I like ran to get my mom because I was like, he's peeing everywhere. I was like freaking out. So I get my mom and then we come back and he's already like back in his bed asleep. And then I remember it was funny because the next day, I tried to tell him about it and we got in the hugest fight because he's like, you're such a liar. And I was like, no, I swear.
It's so funny.
But
I don't know. Tell me why. And maybe one of our listeners knows this. Tell me why it's always kids that sleepwalk. Because I slept walk as a kid too, but I haven't done it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Since like that age. I've never wondered why.
That's true. When you get like adults don't as much either.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I remember like I like specifically even remember slightly walking downstairs.
Yeah.
And
that's what
I remember because
out.
I set the alarm off. My parents had a 2-story house
like
with an alarm.
Yeah.
And I walked the upstairs. It wasn't alarmed, so we could walk around freely upstairs, but downstairs was. And I walked downstairs and tripped the alarm, and it scared me half to death.
That's anything where like you're blacked out or like sleepwalking where it's like your body is moving and even you're like talking or interacting, but like it's not you. I'm like, who is it?
Like I like very much remember walking downstairs and knowing like
that's crazy.
I didn't have control of whatever I was doing.
That's nuts, dude.
To be honest, I'm really terrified of having kids that sleepwalk because that's straight out of a horror film. Like a kid waking up
and a kid
and your
standing
kid
there.
just standing there. I don't know what I would do. How would I react?
Sorry, honey.
I'd probably hurt them.
Go stay with grandma and grandpa for a while. Oh, goodness. Okay. Should I get into my story?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, y'all.
Look at you. The writers say y'all all the time.
I know.
Me and Taryn as individuals don't say y'all, and you're saying y'all now.
But now I do.
You guys influence us. This is a good thing.
Yes.
This is how family we are.
So now let us influence you by protecting your eyeballs.
Your eyeballs are so important.
They're so important.
You can't see.
Okay. Honestly, I'm really freaking excited that we're partnering again with Blue Blocks because it is a brand that like I'm obsessed with.
Very.
It's one thing when like, you know, when you like post a picture like wearing something and people are like, oh, you look so cute. And then there's the ones where you post something and then everyone in the comments is like, where did you get these?
Yes.
Like I posted a picture with some of my Blue Box glasses and everyone was like, oh my gosh, what are those? Yeah. Like I need them in my life. And what's so cool is I love when like cute meets like there's a purpose.
Yes.
And blue light is something, if you guys are like, what is this? I feel like everyone knows about the dangers of blue light now. Yeah. But blue light damages our eyes and leads to digital eye strain. So you can get like blurred vision, headaches, dry and watery eyes. Sometimes this can even cause like anxiety, depression, and low energy, which I don't know about you, but those 3 things like right now is a no. Like I mean, I don't even. On top of everything,
that triggered me. You just saying it right now. I don't want to. No.
So Blue Blocks is a company that created these glasses. Like I said, they're so freaking cute. I personally have the Maverick frames, and I think you do too, Ash, right?
Yeah. We got matching. We're cute.
We did get matching because we're adorable. But this is a company like I totally stand behind because I just think like I've noticed the biggest difference. In fact, the other night I forgot to wear them and I was on my phone and then computer and TV.
Yeah.
And I went to lay down to go to sleep and I was wide awake and had like the most pounding headache I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't freaking wear my glasses.
Yeah. You know what's
I could
crazy?
tell the difference.
What's crazy is I've had blue light glasses in the past that I didn't really like notice. I would watch TV before bed and I would still have a headache. I legitimately, this is I'm being 100% honest. I don't get a headache anymore.
No, I know. That's
I wear them
what's trippy.
constantly. Yeah. Well, guys, Blue Blocks was created to fix this problem and block out the blue light with high quality lenses. Unlike any other types of blue light glasses, Blue Blocks are evidenced and backed and made under optics laboratory conditions in Australia. Hello.
We love Aussies.
We were just there. It was we had a good time. Other companies were mass producing unevidence-backed products in China with no understanding of how light actually impacts your health. But Blue Blocks understands it now. They have over 40, that's right guys, 40 hip frames and come in prescription, non-prescription, and readers. So they have frames for absolutely everyone. Blue Blocks is also giving back, and this is my favorite part. They're giving back by working in partnership with Restoring Vision in their Buy One, Gift One campaign.
Love that.
For each pair of Blue Blocks glasses purchased, they donate a pair of reading glasses to someone in need.
I freaking love that.
I literally, that like puts them to the top for me.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't already obsessed, like I want to buy 50
everything.
pairs now. Yeah.
So if you guys would like to get your energy back, sleep better, and block out the unhealthy effects of blue light with Blue Blocks, get free shipping worldwide and 15% by going to Blue Blocks. That's BLUBLOX.com/advice or enter code advice at checkout.
That's Blue Blocks, BLUBLOX.com/advice for 15% off, or just use the code advice. You're welcome.
Get on it.
Also, there are so many quarantine stories coming in. I wish we could read them all.
I know.
There's so many. So hopefully these are relatable to a lot of you guys.
Okay. So mine is titled Life Unknown. Hey y'all, I just wanted to say how much this podcast is really helping me out with my life and dealing with issues that are serious, which I love that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm Shay and I'm 28 years old.
Hey, Shay.
Hey, Shay. Last December, I was going through a really rough time in my life, and I didn't think I was going to make it to the new year. I was struggling with suicidal thoughts, but I did. I made it through with the help of God, my family, friends, and this podcast.
I'm gonna cry.
I know, girl.
Oh my God.
I just want to say, I know you said that you've come through it, and I just want to say that I know that like we don't personally know you, but you are precious.
Mm-hmm.
You are a gem, and this world needs you and whatever you're meant to do to make it a better place. So fight through those thoughts because you are beautiful and we need you around, girl.
We do.
That's all I'm going to say. Okay, she goes on. Now I'm challenged with an even bigger problem. My fiance told me about 3 months ago he no longer wants kids and he no longer wants to own anything in life.
Oh my God.
I'm assuming that means like, you know how people will be like, oh, like I don't want to be materialistic, so I'm not going to like
the minimal lifestyle of like bare minimum.
I don't want a nice car, a nice house. Like I just want bare minimum, enjoy life, which that's cool. Like, honestly, I wish I could be like that because I'm sure it brings a lot less stress.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be hard if you're like, okay, but I do have goals of like, I want a big house. Like I want a family. I want whatever.
It's an extreme lifestyle.
It is a very extreme lifestyle.
Is what it is.
Yeah. My heart sank and I was left with no words because it came out of left field. Our 4-year anniversary is this Saturday, and even though we talked through it somewhat, I feel it's still awkward because he is not changing his mind and I'm not changing mine. I don't know if it's because he's about to turn 30 years old and he's just scared. He tells me he doesn't know, but then turns around and tells me he had a full-blown conversation with his friends about it. I get really confused. At the end of the day, I want him to be happy with whatever decision he makes, but at the same time, I'm not ready to let my best friend go. I know y'all aren't at this stage of life yet, and I know y'all get a lot of people writing into y'all. I'm so good at saying y'all now because you guys make us practice.
Uh-huh.
Just wanted some unsolicited advice. Sincerely, Shay.
Wow.
Dude, there are certain ones that I read that I'm like, I get a little intimidated even approaching it.
Yeah.
Because this is a very large life decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not something where it's like, oh, you have all these options. Here's what I do. It's like, it's a very like, there's two options and they will both greatly impact like you in your life.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, to be like, we joke all the time about like, oh, we're not professional, whatever, but like we really aren't. And even professionals would not just out front just tell you what to do in your life. Mm-hmm. They help talk you through and ask questions so you can really think about it and have clarity and an answer.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be very clear before we give our advice that like, we're not telling you what to do, but we just want to start an open dialogue of like what we're hearing in your email, because I think this decision ultimately has to be made by you sitting with yourself and like really thinking through what you want to do.
Yeah.
But we can definitely help with like,
100%.
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm hearing.
Let's
that
process
kind of stuff.
it out loud.
Yeah. Do you want to start? Do you have thoughts?
I think, yeah, sure. I think one of the first things that is crucial is to, I think it's really hard, especially just like in society today, especially when there's a lot of like already horrible things going on. I think it's easy to dumb this down and feel like it's not that big of a deal. To be like, oh, he doesn't want kids. That's not that big of a deal. And oh, he wants a minimal lifestyle. Like there's all of those words like sound very easy and not that hard and difficult.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important that you realize like this is a huge blow.
Yeah.
If you have been in a relationship with this person and have already agreed, obviously he proposed, to have a life together. Yeah. So you have mentally created a picture based on an understanding of you guys having a similar approach to how you wanted to live that life together. This is actually a really huge blow to you. And it sounds like you might have possibly been blindsided and didn't see this coming at all. So I would just take a moment and like really allow yourself to process that and hopefully no one's, making you feel like it's not that big of a deal. You should,
Oh yeah.
I'm saying that because if for some reason this was a deal breaker for you, that's totally fine and understandable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because personally, it would be for me.
Oh, that's like honestly one of the first. I have a very weird approach to dating. I'm a very like all up front. Like I don't want to waste my time. So all up front, I tell guys, I'm like, okay, I want to have kids. I'm not having sex till I'm married. I'm like, my faith is something that's really important to me. My family's something that's really important to me. And I like throw all of my personal deal breakers like out front because for me, if I'm going to date, like I have to know that it's going somewhere. Now, there are also some times where homegirl just wants attention. And so there have been times where I'm just talking to a guy and I know they're not on my level of like what I want necessarily. Not that I think I'm above or below, nothing like that, but just that our dreams don't align. Yeah. So then I'll talk and have fun, but it's like, I'm very clear that like, this is not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's like, obviously I think people need to be upfront. If that's a dream of yours, like that is definitely a dream of mine.
Well,
so
think about it. Think about dating apps. That's one of the first things listed is, do you want kids?
Yeah. And I will, so even if the guy is hot with a capital H, which there have been guys that I've seen and I'm like, oh mama, like yes. And then I look and it says don't want kids and I'm like, frick, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, but there's a reason that all of these dating apps have that on there because it's a deal breaker.
Yep.
It's that serious. So what's blowing my mind is I'm sure your fiance is a great guy, but it's like you really didn't feel like bringing that up before?
Well, it sounds like she said out of the blue, so it sounds like this I'm guessing he's going through something right now.
Yeah.
Like for
people don't just like be randomly.
Yeah. Like I don't want to own anything in this life and I don't want kids. I'm assuming he's personally processing through something. Mm-hmm. Maybe like an old trauma's coming up. Maybe his own family is going through something that he's like, ooh, I don't know if I want a family if that's what that is going to bring.
Yeah, I get that.
So I would definitely. And this was the thing that stuck out to me. Like we'll get to all the parts. But you mentioned like how it's been hard for you because when you try to talk to him, he's like, I don't know. But then he's like, oh, I talked to my friend about it for a long time. That is something you need to like really bring up to him of like, hey, this is our future. It's our family or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever's going on within you, like we have to talk about this together. Like obviously we all need to have friends that we go to and process things with.
100%.
But he can't shut you out of this because this decision is very heavily a part of your life too.
The second he proposed, he
it became
made this your problem too.
I fully agree with that.
So he 100% should be processing this with you, with his friends together. Like this shouldn't be a, I'm only going to talk to him before I talk to you kind of thing. This should be a, let's all get through this together moment. So yeah, that's a little bit of a red flag for me. I would just definitely make it a big deal and say, hey, like,
because people you don't just flip. Do I sound extra manly today?
No, maybe it's the allergies.
Okay. I'm so sorry. That was random. I like heard myself for a second. I was like, I'm so sorry. Anyways. Yeah, so that's a big thing. I think communication is key, especially in this type of a situation.
Yeah.
I do think in a way you are lucky that you're not lucky at all that this is happening, but you guys aren't married yet. Yeah. So if there is a time to have these really intense conversations, like it is now.
Yeah.
Everything I read
before.
Yeah. Everything I've read, I read quite a few articles just talking about when couples disagree on having kids. It's just a really hard situation because yes, there is hope that someone can change their mind. Like once they, get into a marriage or experience, an interaction with kids where like, oh, like, yeah, I do want this. But the thing about people is, yes, change is possible, but change is not something that you can bank on. Like you can't go into something saying, oh, well, he will change, because it is very possible that they won't.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really hard. And I've even noticed this with friendships I've had, where I've had a friend that has a tendency that I don't like, or they hurt me in a certain way. And at the end of the day, I have to come and say, okay, well, do I love them enough to, if they never change that part of them, to continue to have them in my life and invest in them? And if I do, then my part is to put aside like my expectation of there being something different.
Yeah.
So it's something where I think you have to really think like, okay, if this is my reality, he's never going to want to have kids. He's never going to want to strive to whatever materials you do want in this world. If that is a definite never going to happen, does my like love for him or relationship with him, does it outweigh me sacrificing that part of myself? And is it something that I'm okay? I can't hold resentment for him. I can't constantly be like, well, you won't let me have kids, so I get to do whatever. Because if you go into a marriage with him, he's been honest with what he wants. So you either have to accept that and say, okay, I'm going in now accepting that this is our life, or you have to think about if you're willing to sacrifice those things.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
That's a huge ask.
Especially if you love someone and you've been with them for so long.
You're already invested in them as a person.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think what has to happen is a really good, hard conversation with, honestly, I think yourself. And I think you need to think about whether or not having kids is a deal breaker. In my opinion, the minimal thing, I've seen extremes. I don't know how extreme he is.
Yeah.
Is he talking like tiny house minimal with like nothing? Or is he talking about just like living under his means and like
we raise a goat and only drink the milk of our goat?
I don't really know the specifics of that. So that's not as scary to me. But the kid thing, just because I know that I want kids, I know Taryn wants kids.
Yeah.
That is a deal breaker. So I think I would sit down and have to have a hard conversation and find out whether or not I really want these kids, or if I can live life happily with him without kids.
Yeah.
Also, I do know people change. But you, like Taryn said, you can't bank on it. Like I know my
No.
mom never wanted kids ever until she met my dad. So I do think it is possible for people to change their mind when they find someone that they are like, okay, like I do want kids with you. You know, I think that's a cool thing that can happen, but you can't bank on stuff like that. You have to come to a decision individually before planning something with someone else.
If that's what it's going to end up as, right? Like if I have to choose between kids or him, that's going to be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Well, right now, if that deal breaker happens, it's going to be so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But at least it's, again, you're not married. You know what I mean? Like, but what's the alternate? Like you go like 10 years into a marriage and then you decide that, and then you have, you know what I mean? Like now is the time to really just figure it out. And I just want to say, I totally think you guys could work it out and figure something out. That's one side. If not, like, I just want you to hear this. Like, you will be okay. Like, it's going to be hard and heartbreaking. And I definitely came, you know, at the end of my relationship. Like, I mean, we were set, like, we knew when we were going to get married, how many kids we wanted, where we wanted them to go to school, like everything. And it was so hard to start over. But I'm so in love with like the person I am now compared to who I was then. Yeah. So you're gonna be okay either way. So I think take that scariness and pressure off of what you're thinking and just really sit and marinate on like, bottom line, do I want kids or not?
Yeah.
And if I do, and he's telling me he's not gonna be there, then that's where you have to make the decision.
Yeah. And this might sound cruel, but I think it kind of is similar to just the dating process. If you can be compatible in that way.
Yeah.
If this is something he's not capable of doing, it doesn't have any negative effect on him. This doesn't mean he's a terrible person.
No, yeah.
This just simply means that you guys could not do this together. And if you have a desire in your heart to be a mother, you have to have an equally capable partner to do that with.
Yeah.
You know, ideally.
Yeah.
So if you are going into life like wanting to have kids, then I think the ideal thing is to find someone to help you raise those kids the best way that you possibly can. And if he's not physically capable of doing that or emotionally capable, then I think that's your answer.
Yeah. But like we said, we're not telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. There's so many outcomes, like, you know.
I know plenty of people that aren't having kids.
Yeah.
They have dogs. They have a lot of dogs and they are happy with life.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. It comes down to just like, you need to sit with yourself and really think this over. But I think you need to have a lot of open conversations with him to really chase down, like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And then go from there. But
yeah, because if it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
That's something that most people say like right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat. They don't propose to someone until they've had that conversation.
Yeah.
Typically. So I would agree with Taryn. I think something's bothering him.
Sounds like it. But
or started something.
But Shay, we support you. We love you.
Girl.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine either way. So really hope that this helped a little bit just to kind of like talk out details.
Options.
And we wish you the very best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, we just wanted to take a second to just say thank you for being a part of our little Unsolicited Advice family.
We love you guys so much, and it would mean so much to us if you would rate, review, subscribe, and share our podcast. Spread the word, spread the love.
Yes.
Give advice to everyone. Advice for you, advice for your mom, advice for your friends. Change the world. Help us get the word out there. And that would mean so much to us. And back to the show.
Do you want to hit us with yours?
Yes. Mine's a lot more lighthearted. So that's nice. We'll kind of jump into an easier story. This one got me. It's just I feel very relatable to this girl. Her name is Erica, and she this is kind of like a longer tearing it up.
Oh, okay.
Is what it kind of is. This is like last week we had like just a fun story.
Yeah.
This is a fun story. And yeah, let's just dive right in. The title is I period flushed period my period keys.
Flushed like toilet.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Hello, Ashley and Taryn. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey.
I'm a new fan, and I've been binging your episodes from the beginning this whole week. I love your advice and commentary. You both are so precious.
Stop it.
I don't know why the word precious gets me emotional. Like I'm like,
it feels such a compliment.
Real. Yeah. While listening, I thought of my own embarrassing story that I just have to share.
I'm so excited.
I'm so glad you're sharing. Cool. My name is Erica. You can use my name because I'm 99% over it, but I will never, ever forget it. Feel free to retitle this if you want. I just felt like that was the best way to grab your attention. No, I love the title. I think that's the best title. It. Also, it gives you the story without giving you details, you know?
Yeah, no, I love it.
That's the crucial thing. Some backstory. I'm originally from Washington State, and I moved to Georgia for grad school right after undergrad. It was a major transition right at the age of 21 that I was never really prepared for. And I feel like, honestly, no one's ever really prepared for a huge jump like that at that age. But yeah, I fully understand what you're talking about. I drove across the country in my beat up truck with my dad and suffered full-blown panic attacks the entire way. Oh, baby, honey. I'm sorry. I was supposed to live in my own apartment when I got to Georgia, but I just couldn't handle being alone. I get that. I feel like I've talked to so many people lately who have moved out and realized they couldn't do it alone, which is, it's interesting because you think you can. Yeah. And then you're just like, wait, I changed my mind.
I feel like living alone is something that everyone's like, when you're annoyed with people you live with, you're like, oh, can't wait to just have my own place.
And you can picture it.
And then it happens and you're like, everyone's trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Help.
She continues. It turned out that my grandma's childhood friend lived an hour away from my campus, so I ended up moving in with her instead. I spent the first 6 months severely depressed, but I found my best friend, Rachel, and survived my first year of grad school literally because of her.
Oh, I love
best friends. She is seriously my person. I love her so much. I ended up making such a happy life in Athens, and I ended up planning to move into an apartment with her and her fiance, Gary, so I wouldn't have to commute an hour every single day. That's nice of them.
That's cool, yeah.
That's a good situation. Okay, so let me set the scene for that fateful day.
Oh, no.
I majored in costume design.
Ooh, that's cool.
That I don't think I've ever.
Dude, I'm always so fascinated when I hear people say they major in things that I've never even known was an option.
Never even thought about.
But like, that makes sense.
If you're into like fashion, but you don't want to do like
who makes all the costumes?
Fashion. Yeah, someone has to. It's interesting. Okay, so anyways, I majored in costume design. So part of my grad school assistantship was working in a costume shop building garments for a theater production. I had to go into school one day. Wow. I had to go into the school one weekend to do laundry before that evening's show. That night, my friends and I were going to see a play an hour out of town. While they were waiting for me, Rachel and Gary were apartment hunting, so I was completely alone in the costume shop.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds scary.
Yeah.
Right?
I was just going to say that could be the start of a horror film.
But like costume shop, there's definitely mannequins in there.
You would think so.
Mannequins alone, masks.
And in like period style costumes.
Yeah. But that's like every scary movie. It's like, oh, you're panning all the costumes, and then all of a sudden one of the masks does that turn, you know, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Oh my God. Anyways, I realized at one point that I needed to use the restroom. I grabbed my keys and my phone and locked up the shop since the bathroom was on the other side of the building. That was mistake number one.
Oh, dear God.
I was wearing leggings, so I didn't have any pockets, and the stall didn't have anywhere to set my stuff. I, the genius that I am, ended up tucking everything under my chin and doing my business.
I do that all the time.
Mistake number 2.
Uh-oh.
As I stood up, I turned to flush the toilet and pull my pants up. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention, and in a flash, my phone and my keys started falling. I can like picture this as like a movie. By pure instinct, I caught my phone, which is probably what I would have done too.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. But I couldn't grab my keys in time. I literally stared as my keys were flushed down the toilet and gone in a blink. I was in shock. Did that really just happen to me?
I didn't even know keys could go.
It must not have been like a huge amount of keys. Like if it was a small ring with like maybe 3 or 4 keys, I bet it could be flush, especially if they're like, like university toilets that were like, like airport ones. I can't talk. I automatically thought of how much trouble I was in. 1, the costume shop was locked, which meant I couldn't get back in to finish the show laundry that was happening that evening.
Oh, crap.
2, my key ring had my building keys, house key, and car key. So I could no longer get into my car and back to my house, which was an hour away. 3, my building keys have a $250 replacement fee for each key, which I definitely...
Hold on. $250?
That's expensive. Yeah.
That's
what? Expensive.
To replace her building? Her like where she lives?
Key. Yes. It says...
Oh my gosh, mine was $5. Oh my
God. I wonder why it's so expensive. Maybe it's a university thing.
I don't know. That's ridiculous.
I still feel like that's... Because it must happen a lot.
Maybe that's why. They're like tired of everyone losing it. So they're like,
yeah,
it was just scary. That would scare me.
Yeah, she said, my building keys have a $250 replacement fee for each key, which I definitely couldn't afford to pay for all 3 of them. Yeah, no kidding. 3! I had a show to get to in a few hours where we had backstage interviews with the set designer, so I couldn't miss it. In 2 seconds, my entire evening just crumbled. Poor baby.
That's horrible.
I washed my hands, ran into a classroom, and literally threw myself onto the carpet crying. I called Rachel to come to the school to open the shop and pick me up. She laughed so hard when I told her what happened, but immediately headed over from the other side of town. Luckily, she got to me so I could finish the laundry just in time for us to get to the play on schedule. My grandma ended up meeting me at the play to bring me my spare house and car keys, so I was able to pick up my car and get home later that evening.
That's so nice.
I know, grandma, for the win.
Dude, people need to like... A spare car key is such a game changer.
It's so crucial.
My mom has rescued me at least 7 times.
How many times have you like waited with me at my car because I locked my keys in my car?
Yeah.
If I like had a spare key that you could have grabbed,
just
like
grab
that
and
would
go.
have been so much easier. So true. It's terrifying. Anyways, grandma brought her the key, right?
For the win.
Where was I? Grandma ended up meeting at the play. Yes. Okay. Anyways, I had to email our facilities manager about what had happened because I was so scared my keys would damage the plumbing.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Well, I guess you did. I prefaced the email with, I'm so sorry. I have to email you this, but ... my keys got flushed down the toilet. Thankfully, I didn't end up getting charged for the keys because since no one could retrieve them, there was no security risk and the door locks wouldn't have to be changed.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe that's why it was
more expensive. They would have to change
the locks for the entire...
That makes sense. Okay.
That does make a lot more sense. I was going to say that's extremely expensive.
Still steep, but yeah.
The most humiliating part was having to pick up my new building keys and the dean of the department asking, why did you still flush the toilet once your keys were in it? And then having to explain the whole process of me holding my keys under my chin and flushing before they fell down.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, wait. But that makes sense because it was already, the flush was happening.
Yeah. For the next 2 years, my facilities manager would regularly tease me and update me with the pipes are fine. Thanks for asking. I'm finished with grad school now and it's been a few years since the incident. So I've definitely gotten enough distance from that trauma. But yeah, for anyone that this might save, just hang your keys on the door hook of the stall and wear at least one pair of clothing with pockets. I'm so paranoid and cautious now, but really it's for the best. I laugh every time I remember this now. So I hope this made you laugh. I love you both, Erica.
Jeez, man.
I just remember, and it was nowhere near the severity of your situation, but I remember when my like work officially, when I had like worked there long enough for them to give me a like key for the building, I remember getting it and feeling so like honored that I got the key.
Yeah.
But then also like, what if I lost my keys ever? That would be terrifying. Because I did go through a good like 5-year period where I constantly locked my keys in my car or like left them in a classroom. You know, like there was a period of time where I was a wreck with keys. So I remember like getting it and being like, yes, I made it. And then having this sudden realization of like, oh my God, there's so much responsibility.
Well, they make it like, I know with my job, like you have to sign out that you have the key. And like, you know, like when I got let go recently, like I had to return the key and like someone like a supervisor had to sign that I gave the key back. So there's like a lot of pressure put on like you have these master keys. You know what I mean?
Like if you open or close, like you have to have a key. Jeez. So it's a lot, but dang, Erica.
Honestly, I do the whole like phone under chin thing constantly when I'm flushing a toilet. And every single time I'm like, why are you doing this? Like you're risking everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what I do? I flush with my foot almost all the time.
No, I do too.
I don't remember genuinely, even not in my house, but anywhere that's not my house. I don't bend over to flush the toilet. No. I always flush with my foot.
But even if you do with your foot, because stalls are so small now, like just standing up and pulling up your pants and turning to flush, like you could drop your phone. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of options.
It's
but
just
the foot technique is a solid option.
It's terrifying to think of that happening, but there's so many times where I'm like, why are you risking this?
And
like just set it down.
Well, you would think set it down, but I remember watching. I remember watching. This is so stupid. After high school, a lot of the times I would come home and Tyra Banks' show was on. Did you ever watch the Tyra Banks show?
Yeah, of course.
She had an episode once where she was talking about. She briefly mentioned why you should never set your bag down on the bathroom
because
floor.
Of how dirty it is. Yeah.
Because of how disgusting it is that they've found actual traces of like feces on the bottom of bags.
Well, while we're on this subject.
What do you mean?
Of feces.
Why are we talking about this?
You brought it up.
No, I don't. I was trying to tell you a quick story about why you shouldn't set your keys on the floor and why we go through the struggle of putting it on our chin.
I'm backing you up because in an episode of Bones, which I was obsessed with that show, she said your toothbrush is the dirtiest thing in the bathroom because when you flush the toilet, that how do you say it? Fecal matter like flies in the air and will land on stuff.
Yes.
So, and like we wipe down our counters or we wipe down different things, but like our toothbrush is usually like wet and like picks up stuff. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And that's probably, never mind. I'm going to stop because you're going to freak out. So I'm backing you up. So every time someone's flushing a toilet, little traces of whatever they dropped off at the pool are going into the air.
Yeah, it's terrifying. So I remember she said a couple things. If it's your house, she was like, definitely always like close the toilet seat and then flush is a solid option. And then, it's like, Erica, I feel you. I don't know why we're talking about this.
Yeah, I love this because you brought it up.
But I get why you don't want to. You can't set it down on the floor. It's not an option. So you have to find something to do. And the hook is an option, but a lot of times some places don't have hooks.
No, they don't. I hate that because I'm like, where do I hang my purse and my jacket and whatever?
There's too many things. We need hooks. Anyways, I digress. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm upset. Not at you, Erica. At myself.
Erica, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure there's someone listening right now that's like, oh my gosh, I can relate.
Everyone has flushed something or dropped something in the toilet before. It's very relatable.
Oh, it's very relatable.
Also, we needed a good laugh. This world right now, I can't.
Yeah, I know.
2020, I can't.
2020. Oh my God. Speaking of freaking the wasps or whatever.
Guys.
I'm done.
I read the funniest tweet. I forget exactly who said it, but he was like, whoever said that 2020 wasn't bad enough, we should add murderer hornets to the list out loud should go to hell. And I laughed
who jinxed
so
us?
hard. Yeah. That's the most ridiculous straight out of Black Mirror thing I've ever heard.
I thought of Hunger Games like immediately. My dad was saying that there's like these type of like yellow jackets or wasps or something, hornets from Japan.
I think
it's Japan.
Was it?
I'm
I don't
almost
think it was
or
Japan.
Korea. I actually don't know. But basically there are these things that are only in whatever country that I cannot remember. And they kill like 50 people a year or something because they're like very like venomous. And they just found some of them like in the US. And I was like,
on the
I'm
West Coast.
actually done.
Yeah.
Like I'm just done.
On
and
the
I
West
said,
Coast.
if I freaking die from getting stung by one of them, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
As I'm dying, I will say I'm pissed.
What's terrifying is we're going into summer, which is when like wasps and bees and hornets actually thrive. So if they're going to be like reproducing, they're going to make their way down to California, and I can't.
You know what?
I cannot.
In the name of Jesus, I pray against these little devils.
I can't handle
Be gone. That's all I'm saying. You're
That's all I'm
welcome,
saying.
everyone. I just saved us all.
I think we all just agreed and amen to that.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna end with a dad joke, and then we're gonna move on. But before we do, guys, follow us on all our socials.
We have Insta, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, and me and Taryn also have our own Instagrams. She's
we do.
at Taryn Renee. I'm @Nicole_XO. I hate my name, but that's fine. I hate it. What was I thinking?
No,
the problem, I'm gonna just say it really quick. There's too many Ashleys in this world. I could not come up with the most random like handles. If I wanted my name in it, I couldn't do it.
Back then, the whole EXO thing was so cool.
It was cute back then, but
we were gonna get tattoos the other day, and I was like, Ash, you should get EXO. She was like, shut up.
I was like, I will never.
Any hoozle. Okay, so what do you call a fake noodle?
A foodle.
No. Good guess though.
Fake noodle.
Okay, say it.
Not a noodle.
Not a noodle? That's your guess?
Yeah.
Not a noodle.
A fake noodle. A poodle.
No, can I just say it?
Yes.
Impasta. Get it? Get it?
Yes, I get it, Taryn. Oh my God. Guys, thank you so much for listening, for being vulnerable, and for that good laugh, Erica. I really appreciated it.
Yes.
Follow us.
Send
us
be friends
emails.
with
If
us.
you have a story that you want to share, please send it in. We need to hear from you. The world, the people need to hear from you. Be a part of our UA fam. Join the Facebook group. We have way too much fun on there. Actually, I haven't been on there in a minute. I'm going to take that back.
Honestly, too, like, I think YouTube could be like a cool place for people to like talk to each other too. So even though right now our videos are, not like of us actually, it will eventually get back to there when we can, go outside. But like YouTube could be a cool spot. I know me and Ash might start jumping on there with the comment section and talking to people. So if you're like wanting to connect with other UA listeners, YouTube's a good place. Instagram's a good place. Freaking Facebook's a good place. But we love you all, and that's all I need to say.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye.